And with that, we begin our adventure to the Canadian wilderness. Now, they do recommend that you don't try to cross the Canadian wilderness in a tiny bike. The problem with that is it's my wife's midlife crisis, and so she wants to cross the Canadian wilderness in a 250cc bike. That's just what we're going to do. So here I just need to make sure that everything is straight. That's seat padding, because if you spend any amount of time in the saddle of a bike, especially a small one like this, you can get kind of sore. And I do recommend securing your stuff really well. This is probably not the best example, but you know, secure the stuff on the bike very well, and then you won't have any worries. All right, so before I get to the Canadian wilderness, I need to get past the border, and that means going through International Falls. International Falls, Minnesota is probably famous for like testing car batteries, because it gets so cold up there that people bring their auto manufacturers bring their cars up there to test them, because like 52 below zero is not uncommon. So here you take a left. As a matter of fact, even just looks cold even though it's summer. Here, you got to take the bridge to get over to Canada, and you got to cross a river. But first you have to pay a toll. This is not a border guard, this is the toll lady. She was very nice, and while I fumbled around and looked for $2 to give her, she made all kinds of compliments about my bike and my helmet and me in general, and she was very nice. And then off we go. So you just get past here and you enter onto a bridge, very kind of nondescript, industrial looking. And I don't know when the actual border is, if there's just this little line that goes along there, but wherever it is, I think by now you're mostly in Canada. I mean, this says welcome to Fort Frances, which is the city just on the other side of the river, the Canadian city. And then you pull up to the border guard here, and he's going to ask you some questions. First of all, he asked me, did I want to use my passport or an enhanced ID card? And I sort of handed him both, and he said, hey, buddy, pick one. So I just picked the enhanced ID, give him that, and that seemed to work fine. Asked me some questions about firearms, dangerous items, if I was planning to terrorize Canadians, and I said, of course not, but I can't speak for my wife. And as a consequence of saying that, it took her longer to get through the border. But there she is, and finally we're in Canada. Canada. It already feels friendlier. I mean, their prime minister is Justin Trudeau. Who doesn't love Justin Trudeau? Who doesn't love hockey? Who doesn't love the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and moose and wilderness and clean lakes and clean air and socialized medicine? I mean, Canada, one of the greatest countries in the world. And you can see as you get more and more into the Canadian wilderness, it just gets more and more beautiful. And if you happen to pass a fellow biker on the road and he or she flashes you the universal symbol of recognition, like this guy did right here, it just means, hey, fellow traveler, I recognize you're on the road with me. Safe travels, my friend, and welcome to Canada. Here you can see the scenery just gets better and more magnificent and more fantastic and more breathtaking as you go along. Canadians are a friendly lot, and they even apologize for their road construction. It wasn't very dangerous and it didn't amount to much, but there it was. The only thing scary you might see is this sign, and that just means get off the road by nightfall because there might be moose or bear or other things wandering around. Well, we did that. We got to Marais Perch Lake Lodge just about evening time. You know, think about all the traveling and hustle and bustle of life, and this is what we were greeted with. Alright, now we have a slight problem here because we are here in a little place called Perch Lake. And we're almost out of gas, and the nearest town is about, I don't know, 15 to 20 kilometers up the road, and then the next gas stop after that isn't even on the map. It's way that way. So not sure we got an extra fuel tank, but we're gonna have to see how far we make it from Perch Lake right here in the northern Canadian wilderness. We'll go along this Highway 11 and we'll follow it to try to get to Thunder Bay, Canada. We're gonna try to do that ride today. That's a long ways. So Perch Lake to Atikokan to start with, and then from Atikokan to Thunder Bay, and we don't know where any of the gas stops are. So that's the dilemma, the main dilemma of the day. But this is a beautiful place, and it's going to be hard to leave. There you go. Pretty dang nice. This is Matt. He owns the lodge right here.
Hello, my name's Matthew.
You live in that one, Matt?
I do, in the middle section, the tall one. And then from the end section, the back deck,
yeah,
all the way to the front is the restaurant.
All right.
And it's licensed for alcohol.
What else? What else do people do when they come up here? They hunt, right?
We have moose hunters, deer hunters, and of course the snowmobiler.
Well, so what you run this place year round, so even if it's 42 below, it's operating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is hardcore right here. This isn't for softies.
No. And we're the only fuel stop from Crane Lake, Minnesota to Atikokan. It's like a train rolling through here in the winter time.
People stop for fuel in their sleds.
Yep.
Or snow machines, they call them up here?
Snow machines.
Well, now you're originally you're a Milwaukee kid, right?
Milwaukee.
Bruce
City.
And raised, yeah. And so what do you do for beers up here? Because the Canadians, they got Molson and that's it, right?
They do, but you know what? I'm American, so you're going to enjoy your Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy your Coors Light.
Yeah.
And
gotcha.
The only Canadian beer we offer is Labatt Blue.
Labatt Blue,
yep.
Okay.
After that, it's all import from the States.
What kind of wildlife can people expect to see when they come up here?
Well, when you come up here, you'll definitely see deer.
Deer, yeah.
The bears, I try to avoid.
Yes.
And right down at the end of the road, you'll see lots of moose.
Moose, okay, moose, yeah.
Which are, at first I always thought they were mythical creatures, almost like the unicorn, because I've never seen one.
Right.
And now they're right down the road.
Now, what about the fish out of Perch Lake? What? And this is like a 33-mile chain of lakes,
33 miles, all the way from Calm Lake up to Steep Rock.
Very cool.
Yep. And you'll catch 15-inch crappies, very common.
Wow.
And you'll catch 6-pound bass. The walleyes are excellent pan fryers. It's lots of northern.
Okay.
You'll catch a lot of the small hammer handles. Between my son and I, we talk to all of our guests very thorough.
Yeah.
And we find out where they're catching them and how they're catching them. And if all else fails, I'll tell them my secret spots. If you catch your fish and you want us to cook them, I'll actually come over here with my portable fryer. Okay. And I'll fry them right at your cabin.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Otherwise, what can people expect in the restaurant?
In the restaurant, you can expect the comforts of home. Fresh pizzas.
Yeah.
Fresh wings.
Yep.
And fresh burgers.
None of that stuff's frozen, is it?
None of it.
No. And the kids help out up here. It's a whole family deal, right?
Oh, absolutely. My 13-year-old son and 15-year-old daughter, they help us run the kitchen. Perfect. And a lot of times they tell us to leave the kitchen so they can actually manage it the way it needs to be done.
Very nice. Well, we had a great stay here. We stayed in cabin number 1, which is also the Challenger. Is that right?
Yep,
no?
That's right.
All right. And, good to meet you, Matt. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll come again.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. All right, you got to pack up the bikes. It's kind of when you unload them at night, not that anybody was going to take anything in the middle of the Canadian wilderness, but you unpack the whole bikes completely, and then the next morning you had to pack them up again. Anyway, in order to get to Atikokan, which is the nearest town for, to Perch Lake, we needed to drive through a little bit of the wilderness, which was very fun. And And this is what it looked like. It was time to get back on the regular roads. You can see the sign here to Atikokan, and we got to a fuel station just in time to fill up and got a little breakfast. Next leg of the journey was a long stretch, over 100 miles, so it's good to take a little time to stop on the side of the road for a rest. And it's nice and cold, isn't it?
Soda.
And Lucy?
Gin and brick.
Where are you right now?
Canada. Right there. Say is right there.
Hey, I guess you're supposed to drink that when you're here in Canada.
Yep.
Did you see anything else in there that you liked?
Elk jerky.
Elk jerky? Alright. Moose jerky?
Moose.
Alright then. Alright, so here we are in Kakabeka Falls.
Again?
We barely made it. We were this close to running out of gas in the middle of the Canadian wilderness and being stranded with motorcycles that don't have any gas, but we narrowly limped into a fuel station to which we paid like $1.40 Canadian per liter of gas. So anyway, that's not important. What's important is we got gas and then we made it to this beautiful park which has a spectacular waterfall which you can see just there behind us. I love to be able to turn the waterfall from fast to slow. That's really fun. There was just this knob that you could twist right there on the overlook and just slow the water down. Pretty shady spot right here. Well, when you're on a motorcycle. Yes.
No short on this.
Be riding in a vehicle that won't make your ass sore.
Right.
Now, we didn't get to see much of Thunder Bay because we were kind of trying to skirt it and stay away from the traffic because we hit kind of around traffic time. This was the only traffic we ran into, is this little guy with a sign, because there was some construction up ahead, but he told us where to get gas after we crossed the border. And I would have filmed the crossing into the United States, but the guy didn't like the camera being on. So anyway, here we are. We just crossed the border, and we're just on the Lake Superior shoreline, just driving along. You can see big old Lake Superior on the left. Somewhere in there, yeah.
Here.
That's right.
Oh,
We double back.
Here.
Yeah.
And all the way.
Wait, where do we stop? Right there by Happy Coca?
Happy Coca, right here.
There, yeah.
We spent the night. We could have been here. There's a lake. All the way. 11.
Yes.
All the way through here.
That was the time zone change, right?
Yep. All the way down here.
Yes.
The Kakabeka Falls.
Yeah, we went there.
All the way to here. No.
I think it was
Yeah, to here.
Yeah.
All the way down here. All the way down here. And all the way down here. And we are right here.
Right here.
Riders. Ride-ins. Border store. Duty free. For Canadians.
This is Grand Marais. Grand Marais is a beautiful little town in Minnesota, full of artists and little shops and great places to eat. Here's where we spent the morning, the next morning. Here's where we slept that night. Here's a little sketch I did of that scene, and there were some sunbathers poolside. That's a lighthouse, by the way. Yeah, and then the next morning it was time to set off again. Well, this really awesome adventure was almost at an end, and we'd had really good luck, hadn't encountered any bad weather, that is, right up to the last second. Okay?
We're advancing.
I'll go grab it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that really was a spectacular adventure, and couldn't ask for a better traveling companion. Had an opportunity to see a lot of the Canadian wilderness, to do some sketching and drawing, meet some new friends, and create some lasting memories. Hey, I wanted to remind you guys that if you haven't had a chance, go over to Wet Paint at wetpaintart.com. There's a Schmincke set on sale right now for $69. It's a custom set. Use the code OwingsArt5 for free shipping. You get free shipping on that as well as the discount, and that's good through June, only while supplies last. And if you get a chance, go over to my website, scroll down, and on the right hand side click the follow button, and you'll be able to follow along on my other adventures, artistic and otherwise, on my blog. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today and coming along on this adventure with me. And my hope is that everybody who watches will have some kind of adventure, artistic or otherwise, in their own way. And drop me some love on the channel if you would. Drop me a comment. I love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, so long for now, everybody. This has been Marty for OwingsArt.com.
Don't forget to check out OwingsArt.com.